Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Raquel Teaches. In this lesson, I'm going to be showing you how to use the Wave Web Accessibility Evaluation Tool to check the accessibility features of a website. So let's get started. So in this browser window, I have two things open. I have the Wave Accessibility Tool, and then I also have a tab open for the website I want to check. So in this case, in this example, we're going to be checking the main web page for Community College of Philadelphia. Okay? And so the way you use the Wave Accessibility Tool is that you have to provide a URL for a web page that you want to check. What's unique about the Wave tool is that the web page does have to be published, right? So that's why a website has to be live before this tool can be used to determine any accessibility features that may be missing or need to be updated on a web page. So the way it works is that you enter the URL and then you click on the arrow to start generating the report of accessibility for the website. So let's just do an example here and see how it's done. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have the website open that you want to check. And so since we already have it open, all we need to do is just select the address of the website in the address bar of the browser, and we're going to copy it. You can do Control-C, or in some cases you can just right-click and select copy, right? And so now this entire URL is copied to your clipboard in your computer, right? So now what you can do is go back to the tab for the Wave Accessibility tool. You can click in this field here and you can paste the URL that you just copied, all right? And once the URL is pasted in there, then you can click on this right arrow button to enter that information into the tool and generate the report that you need. So let's see what happens here. Okay, and we see that it starts to work. And you need to give it a moment, and then once it's completed, that little working wheel goes away and you will see something like this for the web page that you are checking, right? So you may not see all the same types of feedback, but you will see something. And so we see in here that it provides a report that's kind of two parts, right? It creates a very visual report and on the right, detailing everything on the screen or on the image of the website. And on the left, you have more detailed information about everything that it found, okay? So my recommendation is to always use the information that's on the left so you can get an idea of what errors, if any, were found and what those errors might be. So for example, we see here that there are 8 errors in general, there are 4 contrast errors, 21 alerts. So things that are labeled as alerts aren't necessarily errors, but there are things that you should be mindful of that may cause an issue in the future, okay? And so that's what you want to look for. You really want to look for anything that's labeled as error or contrast error or that says error in the description. And those are things that you want to look for and fix, okay? And so as you're scrolling through these errors, you can see how many errors were found and a description of what those errors are. Now, when you click on this, not on this reference button, when you click on structure, it reminds you how the page is built, but when you want the details of it, you want to stay on this details tab, okay? And next to each error, you'll see this circle with an I in it, right? And when we click on that, it tells you what it means, what it matters, and what to do to fix it, okay? So as you see the details on the left here, and you can scroll down and see how many of each error is present. You can scroll also on the right and see where those errors are on the page and then go from there, okay? So for example, we see one of these contrast errors over here, and so we see that that's the issue there. And when you click on that error icon on the page, it tells you exactly what the contrast error is, right? So in this example, it's saying very low contrast. And that's something that can be fixed by changing colors. And so as you go through each error, you want to just click on it, determine what the error is, understand how to fix it, and then make that change. When you make the changes to your web page, you want to run this checker again. And so you want to make sure that you run this checker repeatedly until you've eliminated as many problems as possible. Okay, so that's how easy it is to use the Wave Accessibility tool. You just enter the URL and you go ahead and go through the report step by step with any issues that may have been found, and you make the corrections needed either to the HTML or CSS to make sure that the web page is as accessible as possible. All right, hope that was helpful.